Dahil kung titingnan natin, when the war surrendered actually, when the war ended, there were still Japanese in the hills, but they were almost starving. They were really ready to collapse. And yung turning point, we might say, is here. This was one of three major avenues to get the Japanese to surrender. This was one. The other one, siguro alam natin, is Balete Pass, Dalton Pass. And then from Baguio, you also had another avenue towards the interior. And then from Cagayan. Now, all of these places we're talking about, Cagayan, Balete Pass, Besang Pass, all of these actually were the area of the USAFIP-NL, U.S. Armed Forces in the Philippines, Northern Luzon. Who were these people? The people of USAFIP-NL, yung iba, veterans of Bataan. In fact, the commander of the 3rd Battalion here, of the 121st Infantry Regiment, Colonel Conrado Rigor, he was a Bataan veteran. He was not a professional soldier actually, the service siya, UP student, ROTC graduate, but he wanted to become a member of the Philippine Army. So naging regular officer siya. And he wound up commanding the battalion. Now, when we talk about battalions and we talk about units, siguro para sa atin, many of us don't fully understand. USAFIP-NL was the whole northern Luzon area. But there were 5 regiments. So if we look at the sign here, there are 5 regiments there, 11, 15, 66, 11, 14, 66, 121st. Those were all regional. The 11th was Cagayan. The 14th was Nueva Vizcaya. The 15th, 15th was Ilocos Norte. 121st, dito. Abra, La Union, and Ilocos Sur. 66th, Baguio area yon. So these were the groups of people who were fighting. Many of them were not regular officers also. They were young. Most of them mga teenagers or early 20s. Ito nga, yung survivor natin dito at 99 years old. Imagine, ilang taon kayo noon? You were only 18, 19. And imagine, at that time already, lumalaban na. One of the interesting points is na, sino ba sila? Why did they go to war? And they were not fighting for the US. They were fighting for the country. Hindi lang yung Ilocos Sur, hindi lang yung taga-Besang Pass, but they were fighting to liberate the whole country. And when we talk about the campaign of Besang Pass, that starts actually January, if you look at the marker, January 8 sa Bitalag, sa Miss Cervantes. But January 8 is interesting because hindi pa nagla-landing yung US forces in Luzon. The main landing in Luzon took place on January 9 sa Lingayen. So even before naglanding ng American forces sa Lingayen, nag-umpisa na yung campaign dito. And then from Bitalag, they moved towards Suyo. Kaya importante yung kwento ng Suyo din, Mount Tapao in particular, because nagkaroon ng labanan din doon. So from Mount Tapao, then liberation of Suyo, kaya celebrated as a holiday also. And then from there, yung difficult climb dito. Siguro if it came from the lowlands, diba, halos na nalito na tayo, umikot na yung ulo natin no, sa zigzag coming up here. Imagine what it was like at that time. Wala pa, hindi pa konkreto yung kalye noon. It was wet, it was muddy, mga lamok, people were getting yung mga leeches, mga linta, diseases. How did you eat? How did you sleep? Kung titingnan natin, walang level areas dito. And so they had to survive. And you see all the hills around. These hills also had to be captured kasi overlooking Besang Pass. And the thing is, as you're climbing up the road, binabaril ka ng mga hapon. The advantage of the Japanese at this time was nasa front line sila at nakataas. And in military strategy, whoever holds the high ground has the advantage. Kasi nakikita nila yung umaakyat. So imagine if you're carrying everything, you're carrying the guns, you see here may machine gun, may carbine, may M1, may Springfield, yung iba bolo lang. No? Kaya may tinatawag na bolo main unit. And they were the ones who were fighting, and mga 19 years old, 20 years old, and they're fighting in the clouds, in the rain, in the coolness. This was called also the Battle of the Clouds. Kasi may dumating na mga ulap kanina. No? So imagine the clouds, the rain. How are you going to fight in that kind of weather? And yung iba mga magkapatid, family members. This was not just a community affair, it was a family affair, and it was also, in a sense, a national affair because you had other people coming from other parts of the country. Now, sino yung kaaway nila? Sino yung nagde-defend dito? They were members of an independent infantry battalion. Very professional, trained soldiers, na experience, galing China yung iba. So imagine yung mga tayo, college students, reservists, lumalaban dito sa mga veterans of the war in China already. And as they moved up, yung pinadala dito na Japanese force was the 19th Division. The 19th Division was also called the Tiger Division or yung Tora Division. And this came from Korea. These were mostly Japanese. May mga kunting Koreans involved, pero trained soldiers ito. Sanay sila sa digmaan. And they're facing mga teenagers na hindi talaga sanay sa digmaan. So, climb up that road. Forget na may konkreto yan. But imagine it muddy. Imagine na talagang wala kang matulugan. Where are you going to rest? And as you fight higher up, kailangan idala yung ammunition, kailangan idala yung pagkain nila at medisina. And if it was hard enough to climb with the weapons, imagine climbing with ammunition, imagine climbing with food. How do you eat? How do you survive? And if we look at the fighting kaya tumagal ito, January 8 hanggang June 14, because there were different phases. January 8 to March was called the preliminary phase. Ito yung liberation ng Suyo and the other areas. And then March, medyo nagkaroon ng lull. Kasi yung kailangan ng sundalo sa La Union, San Fernando, La Union. Baxil Ridge, nagkaroon ng battle for Baxil Ridge. After Baxil Ridge was liberated, bumalik sila dito. So March, April, natuloy yung labanan dito, but then it was a seesaw battle. Kaya yung nangyari dito was sometimes the advance would take place, and then sometimes the Japanese would counterattack. Counterattack naman tayo. So seesaw talaga. Labas-pasok yung mga sundalo natin. And finally, on June 14, doon bumagsak yung Besang Pass. The Japanese had enough. Again, I don't have anything is left here, pero kung babasahin yung mga records, the Japanese had trenches, they had tunnels, they had foxholes, and imagine yung mga sundalo natin, how can you fight? Nandun ka sa hill. We also have to make our own foxholes, pero very difficult. And again, the Japanese were up looking down. So yun yung mahirap doon. The fact that our own soldiers, itong 121st Infantry Regiment, plus others from other units who were added later, na tagumpay nila dito, that was something really very important. And this is called the back door to Yamashita's stronghold. By this time, nahulog na rin yung Balete Pass, and then you have Baguio falling already, and now that Besang Pass has fallen, wala lang matatagon si Yamashita. So in 2 months' time, the surrender would actually take place. The war would actually end. So this is a very historic place. It's my first time here actually, but I've met a lot of veterans who fought here. And talagang when you think of how they suffered, and then they said, what were you fighting for? You were fighting for country. I was struck kanina, tinugtog yung Pilipinas kong mahal. That was something they learned before the war. At talagang naintindihan nila yung lyrics ng Pilipinas kong mahal. And even the Philippine National Anthem. Ngayon, pag kinanta natin yung Philippine National Anthem sa Pilipino na. But during the war, it was still being sung in English. So the last part, never shall invaders trample thy sacred shores. At yun ang talagang internalized ng mga Pilipino noon. And while there were itong masasabi na bad guerrillas, that's another story entirely which has to be dealt with. But today, we are really celebrating this victory of that group of young Filipinos. Colonel Rigor was 29 years old, Colonel Rigor was 30 years old, may pamilya na. Captain Narcisse, 29 years old, but lahat 21, 19, 20, batang-bata. And they gave everything up to fight for the country. So that's what we honor today. And dapat ngang maging national holiday because this is one very significant perhaps the most significant Filipino guerrilla victory in World War II. So dapat nga maging mas kilala ito. There should be more books about it, put in the proper situation, and talagang bigyan ng credit yung mga lumaban dito. As reflective of the Filipino will to defend the homeland and fight. Maraming salamat at magandang